The name of the webinar is Building Language and Literacy Foundations in Transitional Kindergarten, Practical Applications and Real-Life Scenarios. And we have today joining us Ms. Janice Galarza. She is a TK teacher with a special focus on supporting English language learners. She brings almost 20 years of experience creating engaging classrooms that foster language growth and social emotional development. And also here today with us is Dr. Gene. He is the co-founder and CEO of Learning Genie. So that being said, thank you so much for being here, and I'll pass the mic to Ms. Janice Galarza. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Let's get started. So like Daniel was saying, I have dedicated almost 20 years to teaching and supervising and supporting younger learners and caregivers in both public and private settings. I currently teach TK in San Diego, California. My school is barely 5 miles from the Mexican border, so most of my students are from Mexican background. Some of my credentials, I have presented multiple parent workshops in early education. I have mentored new teachers. I am a blogger and I share through social media, and I'm very committed to empowering teachers and collaborate with families to support the success of every single child. So the agenda for today is to discuss the PTKLF language and literacy portion. We're going to be discussing 3 very important topics: language development with real life examples, literacy development through phonological awareness, and also writing and reading with real life examples. And we'll be discussing at the end the takeaways of this webinar. So first, the language development, we're going to focus on these 4 strands. We have listening and speaking, foundational literacy skills, reading and writing. So we're going to be seeing how the activities that we present today, we're going to be linked and aligned to the Learning Genie UPK curriculum. And we're going to be discussing some of the unique concepts, the guiding questions, vocabulary, and the real life examples of these activities that will be aligned to the Learning Genie curriculum. All right, we're gonna be starting with show and tell. Show and tell is a very nice activity that promotes language. This is tightly with the first unit of Learning Genie curriculum. It provides students with opportunities to practice speaking in complete sentences. If the teacher provides a sentence frame, it's very easy to complete the sentence frame, such as this is my, and they will be completing the sentence frame and sharing what they have to show and tell. The alignment with Learning Genie is a concept that is a great way to start the school year and also to do it throughout the school year as well. It's a great way to get to know them, get to know their likes, their dislikes. It's also allowing students to express individuality, sharing personal experiences, connection with their peers, and developing. Some of the guiding questions that the curriculum has available for the users is, for example, can you describe how your item looks like? What details can you share about it? So it promotes a lot of discussion with open-ended questions. Also has different vocabulary such as sharing, trading, and different words that they can use with this activity, for example. Another activity that will tie with the Learning Genie curriculum and the language literacy are picture word walls. For example, these align with the curriculum in terms of assessing the EL students in providing the visual aspect that they need. Also for students with special needs and students that need more support, they will help them with the sensory factor as well. This strategy, sit, think, wonder, is very good to develop language. It has 3 components to it. It can be introduced for a new topic in the classroom. It can be introduced for a new center that the teacher will have in the classroom, for a new book. For example, here in the picture with the owl babies, the first picture, the teacher can show the picture. Okay, what do you see? And the student will complete the sentence. I see, and they will complete. Then they will be thinking. I think, based on this picture, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Like making inferences, making predictions. And then the last piece of this strategy is I wonder. That's also about predictions. I wonder what is going to happen in the story. I wonder why there's three baby owls in the cover of the book. So that's a very good strategy that promotes language and literacy. And it also can be incorporated with an array of things within the curriculum and in the classroom with centers, with vocabulary, with events, with everything that goes into our daily basis activities. So now we have the foundational skills of literacy. We're going to focus on the strands of letter sound correspondence, concepts about print, interest in literacy activities, and understanding stories. It will be very aligned to the UPK Learning Genie curriculum with the unit concepts, guide, and questions and vocabulary. And we're going to be providing some real life examples. For letter sound activities, it's very important to have print in the classroom everywhere that the student can go at their eye level. The first picture is important to incorporate songs and chants, not only the auditory portion of it, but also the visual. So my students in my classroom, they love to play teacher. They use a pointer and they go to the song. They ask me to play the song, and they will go with the pointer pointing at the words that they see. Sometimes I have, instead of tree, I made a picture of a tree. That way they have the letter sound activity and the letter sound connection. The middle picture is a letter sound activity for initial letter sound. There's different objects in the middle, and there's 6 letters around. It can be multiple letters. The students will play kind of like musical chairs. They will walk around, and then when the music stops, they will have to stop in front of a circle. And they will pick an object that begins with that letter sound. For example, for the T, they will look around and there's a picture of a tomato, there's a picture of a tent, and they will find the picture that belongs to that initial letter sound. In the third picture, when we introduce letters, we have a mystery box, so we have also objects that they can manipulate. So we have that sensory aspect to it. They will be picking an object from the box, from whatever they have, and they will say the word what it is, and they will make a picture of it, and the teacher will assist writing the word. If they can do it, they're welcome to do it. And that's another activity that ties very well with the UPK Learning Genie curriculum, and also it can be incorporated with an array of concepts in the classroom and also with the letter sounds. Reading with props. It's very important for young learners to have something to connect to stories. So they can, in the future, you can mention, do you remember the time we did this activity with a rock, with a stone? That was, yeah, I remember. So they can tie it to their previous knowledge, to what they just did reading that story. We have here the Stick and Stone story, one social emotional wonderful book. The students can create their own stick and stone. They can take it home and they can retell the story to their family about what happened in the story. In the middle picture, I have a story about Chewy's piñata party, very relatable to my population. And we created little piñatas afterwards. And this was at the beginning of the year, and they still talk about it. And the last one was about Alma. Alma was a Hispanic background girl, and she had like 7 names in her name. And we did an activity with names, and they were coloring, and we discussed the importance of the name that we have. And also, this can go with initial letter sound and incorporated cross curriculum across the different topics of the classroom. And we have print activities, like the other picture that I showed you about the chant that the student were pointing. So here we have another example. This one, there's a chant. It's the Good Morning song. Uh, as we move along in the school year, we have students that can easily learn songs, that can pick it up really quick. Some others need more support. Our English learner need a little bit more support as well, with along with students with special needs. And in this song, they were pointing at the sun. Instead of the word, they see the picture, and they can beginning associating the image with the vocabulary word. Another print activity is in my small groups, we do a lot of level readers. The books are have sight words and high frequency words, and we have created sentence frames, and you can stretch, you can run, you can exercise, and we follow along and they will point at each word. And the other one is important to introduce different organizational charts. In this activity, we did a Venn diagram, and the students were describing and comparing two different books, The Harvest Festival and Sahari and the Sand. And then we help them with words, and we write what they say so they know the connection between spoken language and written language. So now we're going to move on to writing and reading. The strands for this area are developing fine motor skills, writing to represent sounds, and writing their own name. It aligns with the UPK Learning Genie curriculum, the unit concept, the guiding questions, vocabulary, and we're going to be providing some real life examples. A great activity to do to develop fine motor skills is to incorporate Play-Doh in our classroom. Play-Doh and sensory items. The first picture, Valentine's is coming up. I obtained some of chocolate containers that the chocolates come in, and we provide Play-Doh, and these are great motor skills that they can have to use their pincer fingers. They have to push and pull and mold according to the size, according to the space that they have. That's a great sensory activity. Also in the middle picture, we have chalk. We have some cards that they have letters and they write outside. And the last picture, they do kind of the same with chalk, but they do it with water. We have a small containers with water, and they use a paintbrush and they write the letter. They write their name, they make pictures. It's very neat to see because that will dry it off in a few seconds, and they will do it over and over. And sometimes they do it over the chalk and it creates a different texture. So that sensory exploration is very important for this age. Phonics journal. In these journals, we don't look for anything to be perfect. You're just developing letter formation. We're developing the sense of writing from left to right, from top to bottom. The first one, they're doing rainbow writing. They use different colors to write letters. And the middle picture, they trace the letter and they cover it with stickers. And the third picture is about using cookie cutters as stamps. And with this, it can go, again, cross-curricular. They can use to identify the letter sounds. They can use it to identify what item begins with this letter, and they will go and get the paint and stamp it on the paper. Name writing. This is one of my favorite activities. Name writing, every school, every program should begin introducing and exposing letters with their name. That's the most important. That's what they have the most meaning for the students is the name. That's the whole world. So in the first picture, we see rainbow writing. We can see that they use different colors. We promote, again, writing from left to right, from top to bottom. In the middle picture could be for a little bit more advanced students. The first card at the top says Carlos and has all the 6 pictures of each letter of their name. They will identify the letters of my name. I can produce a letter name. I can produce a letter sound. And the last picture, they are forming and molding the dough into the letters of their name. So some of the takeaways from this webinar are the foundational skills. Is very, very important that we help our students where they're at the moment. We're going to meet them where they are, and then we're going to go from there. It's important to know their developmental stage. In the writing development, it's a lot of modeling. We also need to promote writing from left to right, top to bottom. It helps along the way. We have 4th and 5th grade students right now that they're still struggling holding the pencil the right way. And now in early education is when we need to promote the proper way to do it. And it's also very important to be cultural responsive in our classroom and with our practices in all the activities that we do.
So next part, we want to also showcase some of the work Learning Genie. I know many of the audience are actually here being using Learning Genie for DRDP, and we actually partner with a lot of great experts to also design the early literacy, foundation literacy, and science of reading based on the new PTKLF foundations. So we want to take the moment also showcase to all the teachers, coaches here, so that you are able to maybe have a peek, and then towards the end, also we welcome everybody. Maybe can um, make do some learn some of the technique Janice share with us, and also some of the activities we can showcase to the team. So here, what you are seeing right now is a scope and sequence. About the whole foundational literacy, we actually built a 31-week structured science of reading framework. And so it's this here you are able to see each week we are undertaking some of the major activities such as rhyming, initial phoneme isolation, blending, phonics, concepts of a print comprehension, writing. So each of that will align to the foundation. So the part of this is trying to also we're benchmarking with a very another very famous curriculum called Haggerty. Yes, yes, Haggerty. Yeah. So actually we yeah. So this is more like you can use this to benchmark with Haggerty. The good part is that it will directly align to the foundation, and also we want to make each units that already you have a theme, you already have a certain activities. So this is part of the um, foundation literacy training, right? So it will align with all the activities you already do. So yeah, so this is more like we are opening up. Okay, so just now you see Janice created a lot of fun activity. This is one of the more like a first unit. It's a pyramid model unit, and we are opening up with the theme is safety circle time. So we want to embedding SOR, science of reading activity uh, and using based on the PTQRF and make it aligning to the the original books you use in this curriculum, and so you don't have to recreate but this is more like inherently embedded. For example, this activity is called safety circle time. We use the book Know and Follow Rules. So within the instruction, you have objective material, but also you have, okay, go back a little bit. So you have a piece of science reading. So trying to emphasize on the foundational literacy. So here teachers are introducing the rhyming words through sounds. And also the second part is the clapping and the rhyming repetition. So those are more like the same activity. It's more like extension to have an add-on. Usually we'll do the whole group activity, but the science reading, the rhyming can also be an afternoon 10 minutes activity. So that's the children will know be in this the pyramid model unit, but with all the lessons, they are able to connect with the concept you introduced, but also they are able to practice their sense of reading, the vocabulary, the rhyming, and also phoneme, yeah, all those SOR components. So we do have an all-in-one literacy toolkit. So it's open for all our programs, like existing users or maybe future. If you do have interest, we can open that again, and that will be available to the programs from now. And the teachers who want to learn and practice, right? We can have this available. So you can have a digital format now available online on your platform, but also we have a boxes that can be physical toolkit. Yeah, so this is how we are showing the so this is a card. Okay, go next slide. Yeah, the mapping from the foundation, right? PDQF foundation, DRDP measures. So as you know, we have a new foundation just released last July, and DRDP 2025 will also be released very soon. So this July it will be available for public beta, and then likely CDE will have some plan, right, roadmap how this will be all fully implemented. But here I want to showcase is you will naturally align the preschool TK learning foundation to the DRDP measures. So it's still a crosswalk. Okay, so somehow, but it's not making more sense this time. But we are going to show teachers how to teach those standards. On the left-hand side, you can teaching tips for standards, but on the right-hand side will be the DRDP measure, right? So how to observe. So those are correlated, but there are way more foundation standards than the DRDP measure. So likely to be multiple to one, but it's not it doesn't matter. So we reduce a lot of workload. We shoot a lot of heavy lifting by making the alignment, and they also give specific tips how when you do one lesson, what are the standards, right? What are the foundations? And then what are the corresponding DRDP measure? So they are all printed in one page. And so the teacher will be able to don't have to remember, but now it's there, right? So it's so easy for you to pick that up, especially for foundational literacy. There are actually quite a lot of new items being in the standards. So this will give a clarity what you are going to teach and how you're going to measure. Yeah, so actually on this slide, we do have um, mapping, okay, for DRDP to TPDKLF framework. So whenever if your program want to see the new foundation and also the DRDP, you can download from here. But this version is more like a DRDP 2015. So maybe in a couple months, right? So when the DRDP 2025 fully released, so we will update. So you will have a full 25 DRDP 2025 and a PDKF alignment doc. Yeah, so this is also Learning Genie. We just want to do also as many of you probably see this. We have using AI trying to help teacher to build. If you are you do have a missing DRDP, you do not know how to observe, right? So you try to find an activity, so you can use this to build one activity to cover several DRDP measures you want to observe. But also this too can help a lot when you are learning the new foundation, PDQF foundation. You can build the lessons based on foundation. So you can base on both foundation and DRDP to give you the activity you wanted to help you to teach and help you to complete the RDP. That's a very useful tool, especially when you are going to the end of a session, right? Spring, and you still want to finish the DRDP, and this will give you a lot of activity. You can build it right towards your need to conduct those lessons. Yeah, so this one also will want to showcase that once if you do a supplementary work, you find the activity or you're building an activity, it will automatically channel into your portfolio app, which many of you are already using. So from a lesson to a portfolio, it can be directly be linked. So all the measures in DRDP will automatically populate it on portfolio. You don't have to retag everything. It will be there. Only thing is more like you want to individualize for that particular activity, what you truly observe. You want to individualize for each student, and you are able to complete a very high quality observation note. But with this, you are able to link, okay, what actually you plan, you want to teach, and also link that towards the observation you actually have. So make intentional teaching and also high quality observation go together. So that's actually already there for everyone to play with it and also can try. Yeah, so literally, we if you do have interest, we have a QR code here, and also we do send out a form. So whoever want to practice what Miss Janice created those activities, and also want to learn a little bit more, see our activity with the fun science of reading. If you have interest, you can fill this form, so we are able to turn that on for your agency. You have the rest of the school year, you can play with it. And the best part is that hopefully this is a smooth way for you to get master of the new foundation and also feel very comfortable when you are working with DLEP 2025. Is more like a reduce all the memory, right? The jobs to memorize all of that to make it easy for teacher just to focus on the new learning and also, yeah, make the documentation assessment way easier.